here we are. It's a Wednesday, and even last Wednesday we had a situation where Chanya had to go away to do some hairdressing seminar, and so we didn't get any time together last Wednesday. This Wednesday, well, it's immigration day today. This is the visa renewal. This is a general video for everybody because there'll be a bit of information about obviously the visa process. Nothing much interesting outside that, but I've got all my paperwork. My paperwork's in here in the little bag. That's everything in duplicate. I've got my health insurance. I went through and did a Bangkok Insider video of the health insurance process, so more information about that. Got the TM7 form. I've got all the photocopies. Got my bank book. I've got Toby and Barn. I really don't know what they're going to need this time. Hopefully it'll be a sort of pretty much a seamless process. Anyway, stick around and we'll sort of see what develops. Well, we actually made pretty good time here today on the way in. I was actually quite surprised. I'm thinking maybe I can sort of pull the video off the what they call the car cam. Maybe I'll run that on a Saturday morning live stream or something. Give you an idea of what driving around Bangkok's like. Some of the crazy drivers and some of the crazy antics that you get up to. It's always one of those weird ones. Anyway, so was it just gone 9:25? So wonder how long we're going to spend in here today. Of course, I guess there's not so many of the local country visa applications, so we might actually be pretty quick. Who knows? It's one of those sort of things. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Just going to the check-in there. Just a temperature screening. Hand your passport in. They take your photo. Fairly straightforward. Nothing much there. Of course, this area is usually sort of set up for some sort of OTOP. But today, absolutely nothing. So I'm going to get a ticket first, then go downstairs to the bank and get my bank statements done. It's hard to tell what the numbers are going to be like, but it's actually it's completely bare. If we look at there's nobody in immigration. It's a change. Who would ever thought that, eh? We could be through fairly quickly. Maybe I'll have to get a second ticket because the bank might take some time to print the statements out. Who knows? Yeah, so I got ticket number 77. That's probably a first. So we should be through pretty quickly. They process, depending on how many windows, they process about 4 or 5 every 20 minutes. So let's sort of see how we go. Downstairs to the bank. Got to do the bank statement and get the bank book update. One of the things I have been told is the fact that it's advisable if you got the bank book, or when you get the bank book, is to actually go to the bank every month and put it in the machine, get it to update the passbook, because something that they look at. But anyway, I'll get them to. I didn't do that, so I'll just update the passbook as we go through. Anyway, Kung City, Thai Bank, that's me. I'll turn the camera off and go and do all the work in there. Yeah, so the banking there was done pretty smoothly, 10 minutes. I think it took a little bit longer when I was at Citibank, but God, the amount of paperwork they have to put their signature on, it's ridiculous. In this day and age, you'd think everything would be just, thumbprint and electronics or something like that, but no, the Thais love their paperwork. She must have signed about 15 forms just for the bank alone. But anyway, we'll go and check out the queue. If we've still got a few to go, I might drop downstairs and get another coffee. So yeah, I've got the ticket number 77. When I left upstairs, it was counter number, I think 21 was the most recent number. So at 20 an hour, that may put it into after lunch. But it's usually the first hour tends to be fairly slow because of all the, the people who stand at the door at 7 o'clock in the morning with, they're agents and they've got multiple passports and things to do. Not quite sure how that works. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to arrive in person or something like that, but they need to do a photo ID check as a part of your passport. Renewal has a photo of your person, and then you're going to hand your passports over and all that sort of stuff. So it's always one of those challenging things. How it actually works with an agent, I don't know. But other than that, yeah, so we're just going to wait. So hopefully we'll be through before 12. If we are through before 12, that may mean the fact that I'll get home in time and we're able to go out for lunch or something with Chanya and do our normal Wednesday afternoon run around, find a cafe to go to or something like that. But other than that, we'll just have to wait and see. So we'll pick that up as soon as we got the check-in and to see how we go from there. As I said, nothing's really been out of the ordinary, There's the TM7 form, we've got all the other stuff, photocopies twice, got the health certificate, got the bank statements. It's, from everything I understand, it's all there. First year here I didn't have any problems. Second year I had a problem because of the fact that I thought I'd do something smart and go to the bank to get the statement a day early. But no, they didn't accept the bank statement, which was dated the previous day. It's got to be, the bank statement's got to be signed and dated on the day that you're presenting your passport. Sort of a bit weird, like as if you're going to have your money in the bank one day and then take it all out the next. So it always amazes me. The other obviously new thing is the fact that having the 12-month statement, unless of course you're updating your bank book every month for the balance, to show the fact that the balance has always been above the line every month, so on and so forth. But again, it's one of those sort of things. The easiest thing is just print the 12-month statement, we're all good. And they can see the fact that the balance has always been there. There's nothing shonky going on with taking the money out and giving it to somebody else for another 6-month stay or something like that. But quite honestly, that stuff does go on with some agents, so who knows. What else is there? I can't think of anything else. So, that was second year. I went there, with the bank statement. There's a day early and it said not accepted. Had to come back, and a couple of days later when I could organise a time to go and get the bank statement. Of course, that meant going to ASOC, getting the bank statement, then travelling to Chanya, and that always put me in coming in the door here at 11:30 in the morning, which meant it was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to get through. Third year on the renewal, I had the problem, which was the fact that they didn't accept Citibank as being the bank, which is a bit of a nuisance, of course. They accepted it for year one, accepted it year two, then they accepted year three. There's stuff you had to sign a statement saying that I'd have a Thai bank when I came to renew this year. So from that point, they did give me the renewal. I went straight to the bank that day and organised to sort of set up a bank account with Casikon in Petkasem. So we did all that, transferred the money a few days later. So from September, the balance has always been in the bank from September, carrying right through to today. So I can't see what they could fault it with this time. The beautiful thing is, again, no queues. Well, there's nobody, so probably most of the queues are from people from, Cambodia, Myanmar, and around, the Southeast Asia stayers. But of course, that stuff with the border closures, it's only the long-term residents who are doing visa renewals now, I guess. And I wish it was like that every time. But hopefully next year we'll have the house in Nakhon Pathom. And I'm 5 minutes basically drive from the house to the immigration centre there, so it could simplify the whole thing. Who knows? Well, the queue's not going any faster than it was from other days. I think what it is the fact that they've actually got L1 and L2 on the number system, which meant that I think we had when I walked out of there at 11:30. It was 51 on L1 and then L2 was 39. So I don't remember having some L1 and L2. They must have declassified or separated different visa renewal processes, maybe local countries and then international. I don't know what's going on there. So the queue numbers weren't going through as fast. We were getting sort of 20 an hour, and that seems quite slow to me. Anyway, I'm just down here, just going to wander through a little marketplace and grab some lunch. She says, that's right, one of the things that did happen there is the fact that they've got a document check window. So rather than have everybody being checked and being told the wrong documents when you go in, she actually sort of singled me out. I didn't see her doing it to many people, but she grabbed me. One thing I didn't have was the fact that there is a process, because I got the new passport, there's actually sort of some forms to fill out to do the visa transfer on your passport. Not quite sure what happens there, but that all happens at the same time. But anyway, she's gone through all the documents. She says it's all present and correct. She's actually not an officer, otherwise she would have signed it off and we would have got out. I've got to wait for the number 77 queue number, and that's it. You're in the queue, that's it. No queue jumping. But I'm pretty sure queue jumping does go on. But as she did sort of say, everything's sweet. All the documents are there. So it should go through fairly quick after lunch. So I've got an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes to kill. So I'm going to take a wander around here, look at the shops, grab something to eat, and then go back upstairs at 1 o'clock. Well, I can't believe it. Even this year, I still had issues with Citibank. There was a gap. So when I did my renewal last year, it was the 11th of September, when they told me I can't use Citibank as a viable bank for my holding deposit. Holding deposit's probably the best word I'll use for that. So I had to write out a letter to say I would transfer my bank account to a Thai bank for next year. I did that on the same day. I opened an account when I went home on the 11th. Of course, I had to then get back into Citibank, right, to do the transfer. So I had to wait for the verification, make sure everything worked with the new bank accounts. It took a couple of days to do all the making sure of the fact that the account would work. I didn't want to transfer money and find out I couldn't access it. So I waited a couple of days, so that would have been the 13th or 14th. And I looked at the time and it was a weekend, right, and just, travelling into Citibank is a bit of a jaunt for me, so I didn't get back into Citibank until the 23rd to do the actual transfer. Okay, so there's this gap between the 11th to the 23rd, which they don't have a record of my banking accounts. And they were going to have an issue with that. Really, it's this whole checkbox thing. But thankfully, there was a little bit of intelligence used. They realised the fact that the amount of money that's in the account from the 23rd to today has always been over a certain amount. It was basically, so for them, the senior officer basically said, yeah, let's just let it go through. Anyway, so all in all, we've got the transfer done. It's not a transfer, I've got the renewal and all the other stuff. Hold on, I'm just going to go through the outside door. Yeah, so I guess that's a word of warning to anybody that uses Citibank here in Thailand. God, really, dramas. But anyway, next year should be fine. And as I said, in the next year, there's a very good chance I'll be going to Nakhon Pathom. But other than that, there was a visa transfer process from the old passport to the new passport. So that was a bit of an additional requirement for today's little exercise. But that was pretty much a non-starter when you start to think about all the other, about the Citibank dramas. But anyway, so I've got another year here in Thailand. That's all good. Can't really complain. Don't want to be anywhere else in the world right now. But as they say, this is Thailand. Sometimes you just got to expect weird stuff. Anyway, so peace out, guys. I'm off to see if Chanya wants to go for afternoon tea somewhere. And maybe we'll get a video out of that too. Bye for now.
I want you to lift me up so high, a place that no